here, let's speak.
What's your business? Shooting or watching?
The one game that does this is Bethesda Prey 2017. You can add more alien power, but slowly turning into them. Oh, interesting.
Invitation only.
That reminds me of the Lord of the Rings tabletop game.
It's enough to keep us talking, but I'll want to see how well you handle that bow before you go any further. Want a trial round to test your eye?
Sure, here. I got the Lord of the Rings board game a while back because my mom's really into Lord of the Rings to have as like a tabletop game, at the lake and stuff. And it's not a PvP game, it's a PvE game. It's a book that you open, and like each page that you go across is a different board. So it's like you start at the Shire, and then like you are doing like the discussion of what to do with the ring, and then you're going through the mountains and stuff like that as you're turning pages and stuff like that and doing these different boards. And the idea is that you can like put it away and resume from where you left off last time and stuff like that. But in that game, each board that you play on has like a powerful one ring ability that lets you help get an advantage against like the foes that you're facing. And though bless your mom with the Rings of Power dumpster fire, she likes it. I've heard terrible things about Rit, but apparently she's really liked Rings of Power. But you know, I think anything Lord of the Rings she'll just really enjoy because like connection to something that she really likes, not necessarily because it's well made cinema there, with the with the Rings of Power. But that's neither here nor there. Don't tell her I said that. But anyway, you can use a different powerful one ring ability on each board, but every time you do, it advances a corruption track, which goes into like either 10 or 15 points, something like that. And if you get fully corrupted, you lose the game. So you have to pay attention to like how often you're advancing the corruption track. And as you're drawing cards and getting stuff in your inventory, you pick up these ring cards, which you can, you know, play and use like the powerful one ring ability, but it advances the corruption track. But if you like discard them, like if you are using your turn to like discard cards and you discard the one ring, it advances the corruption track. So they're also kind of like trash cards that fill up your inventory, you could say. They're kind of like lodestones in Mario Party. I don't know what other example to do. Where it's just like they've filled up your item slots. And, you know, now it's just kind of space that's being used up. Because you don't want to discard them or use the one ring ability if you don't have to, because it advances the corruption track. But now it's also like using space in your hand that you don't have space for like other valuable items that could be using those slots instead. And it's a little bit of a balancing act where it's like, do I use the one ring ability on this map just because it's powerful, or because I need to make space in my hand and advance the corruption track? And every like 3 or so notches of the corruption track, you draw like an Eye of Sauron card that now inflicts like a new debuff on you. And so you have to wager, like, do I use this powerful ability to help give me an advantage now in the short term, but potentially hurt myself in the long term? And it's interesting just to kind of, like, play that around the table and think, like, when is the time to do this? That is the closest example that I can quote from.
Let us begin.
Usually I quote examples from video games, but
Get ready.
I'm much more of a video game guy than a tabletop game guy, but I know a little bit about tabletop games as well, so sometimes I'll have some examples to draw from for that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why the hell I'm doing an arrow challenge now. Again, I'm just playing this on autopilot while I ramble about things. Like, if you asked me to explain the plot up to this point and why I'm doing an arrow challenge, I genuinely could not tell you for the life of me. What? Oh! I gotcha. Okay, up a little bit more, I guess. Okay, oh, those are little targets. I thought they were, like, behind the railing, and I was screwed for a second. That's why I skipped them at first. Yay. That's deadly aim you have. Best I've seen. But yeah, didn't some Assassin's Creed games have the Helix meter, like Mana, let the player do some supernatural move? There's adrenaline in, like, this and Odyssey that let you, that guy's bad. I'm infiltrating stuff here. There's the adrenaline meter, which, if I swing my sword, you can see, like, the little yellow notches above my health bar down there. Those are what let me use, like, my abilities and stuff here, and then those will charge up. And you can do powerful abilities. And you will be getting, like, super powerful ones in the Odyssey DLC that are, like, Isu-like and let you tap into Isu powers and stuff like that, if that's what you're thinking of. In terms of, like, actual Helix stuff. I know that some of the earlier AC games had the Helix show like your game progression and like the different missions and stuff that you've done. And as you complete the Helix, that's like your game progression and stuff. I'm pretty sure AC1 did that. And I'm pretty sure 2 did that. I'm pretty sure Brotherhood did that. Was it 3 that got rid of it? Did Revelations do it? I don't remember. But you would like check your overall progression and it would be like a helix and these sections being filled out that show your progression and stuff. I don't know where the hell I'm going. I'm playing on autopilot too much. So that would be a helix thing. And of course there's like the adrenaline where you can pop powerful abilities, and there were Isu abilities in Odyssey. Hey Harmonia, I just came back to the stream after an hour. Can you explain the story I missed and why you're shooting targets? Yeah, I'll really explain it here. I don't want anyone to get lost in the story of Assassin's Creed Valhalla on this channel. I want to make sure everyone's like really taking in the plot, because I'm sure that this is going to be like a story that's just going to change my life. I have no doubt. I'm sure everyone's tuning into this stream for the story. Like, I have no doubt.
Yeah. And who's asking?
May the Father of Understanding guide us.
It's 3:20 in the morning.
May the Mother of Wisdom give us strength.
Hell yeah,
You're to
brother.
stand just there. Look your best when the arrow comes forth and keep still.
What? I was like half paying attention. I was thinking about Bad to the Bone.
Good people of London, we have had
Like, you could blame part of me for this, like, you know, talking over these cutscenes and not paying enough attention to the story. But I feel like when a story is really good, I pay attention more, you know? Like, there are some serious parts of Ghost of Tsushima that, like, really invested in me. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely legit lost the plot. Yeah, I mean... all I know is we're trying to find, like, these Order of the Ancient guys. They're bad. They're bad evil people that I have to kill because, like, they're the old version of the Templars, the main antagonists of the Assassin's Creed series. And they've, like, infiltrated this place, and we're, like, doing investigations that lead us to them. And I guess I infiltrated this place after, like, proving I was good with, like, the arrow challenge and saying, may the Father of Understanding guide us, so he thought that I was one of them, and now I'm joining him as he's giving a speech. I get to join him here on stage, because I was just really friggin' good at loosing arrows. Or maybe I was really good at loosing arrows, so I got the information on where he was, and then I convinced him that I was one of his people by saying, may the Father of Understanding guide us, so he was like, hey, time for you to be on the stage. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Something kill cult in Norse flavor, yep. And by killing the cult here, we're gonna, like... Are they even called the cult in this game? They were called the cult in, Odyssey. And they're called the Order, I believe. The Order of the Ancients is what they're called in this game. They're not a cult, they're an order. Kinda looks like the Shadow of Mordor system, but way lamer. What, oh gosh dang it. Oh, I should know the name of it. The Nemesis system, that's what it's called. With like the different connections across people. Also, apparently the studio that made Shadow of Mordor has now been dissolved by Warner Brothers. Which means the Nemesis system, which they put a patent on, and can't be used by anyone else until like 2036, I believe it goes until. The studio that is the one place that could have used the Nemesis system doesn't exist anymore. And that patent is still around. So we just cannot see a video game ever use the Nemesis system again until 2036, I think. Don't quote me on that. Because of this stupid patent. And the one studio that could do it, because they were the ones that had the patent, has now been dissolved. I mean, maybe Warner Brothers would make like another game studio and say like, hey, make the Nemesis system in your game. But I doubt it. Heard the cape physics in this game is wonky of how they interact with your weapons, stealth, and combat. It hasn't been like out of this world buggy, but it's just like typical Ubisoft jank. For sure. I want to hear this guy out. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know who you are.
I serve only London.
Look how hyped people are.
London is a place of
I'm kind of curious how long the speech goes on, honestly.
To all of Britain's kingdoms.
So I'm having water in my bottle.
False kings with their lies.
I have a tiny little swig in here.
Keep the ancient ways. The true strength of London. Rule London.
I wonder if I was paying more attention if I would notice if this actually started like looping somewhere along the way. Or if this actually ends somewhere. Oh, maybe that's where it ends. How funny would it be if I assassinated this guy instead, and then I like chain assassinated into this guy? Would it let me? It might just break out into like full combat, and then I have to like survive combat and kill him, so it might not be worth going for. Realistically, I don't think any lawsuit involving video game patents would truly work, to be honest. I don't think so. I know that Nintendo's really been trying to with Palworld, but and Palworld has made some changes to their game accordingly. But it sounds like a lot of the patent charges have been dropped. Bankrupt any indie studio. Like, in terms of if an indie studio tried to sue someone, because we're talking about Warner Brothers owns the patent about, with, like, the Nemesis system. So, like, unless you're saying, like, them getting sued, bankrupting the indie studio that would use it, would disincentivize them from using it. What do you mean, then, by, don't think any lawsuit involving video game patents would truly work, to be honest? Because, like, if someone used the Nemesis system and Warner Brothers sued them, they'd be screwed, unless they're, like, a really, really big wig. But, yeah. The fact that they would have to spend money regardless of if they win, yeah, like, that would absolutely bankrupt an indie studio. Hell yeah, brother. But I don't know what you mean, like, would truly work. Any lawsuit involving video game patents would truly work. Because if it is, like, enough disincentive for other studios to not use the Nemesis system, just because no one wants to get sued and, like, lose a whole bunch of money, then that's it working, essentially. Tears of the Kingdom has the patent of map transitioning when you fast travel on loading screen. It does? That's so dumb. But I know that, like, most video game patents are violated a lot of the time, and, like, you know, the companies that own these patents don't do anything about it. But I know a lot of people don't want to mess around when it comes to some companies. Like, nobody wants to be dicking around with Warner Brothers. And now especially nobody wants to be dicking around when it comes to Pokemon patents after Nintendo went after Palworld about that. So they're very much making an example out of Palworld. Or at least trying to. Well, I guess you could say they are setting an example when it's just like bleeding money from both sides.
Arrows knocked! It's a hard thing to raise the rats of a city into warriors. Hook, set!
You raised no one. You only trapped them in their cowering fear.
Yeah, that's right. You tell him, Eivor.
First wave fire! No, I gave these men order.
Yeah, is he getting shorter?
I showed them their common enemy. Anchor strings. Second wave fire! I was arrow for their rage. Without a foe to consume, we devour ourselves.
He speaks true. A man without an enemy defeats himself. Justify all you want. You're just a king killer and a coward.
Mighty High Horse, you'd do the same if you were me.
I totally would do
And fire!
whatever all stuff you did. Oh, I totally didn't see that coming. Ooh, a penny. Oh my god! Turn my stuff back on! I actually didn't die immediately coming out of the loading screen that time. Oh my god. I can't. Stop, please. Oh my god. It might have been Syndicate that they started with the hallucination stuff, but, like, the Assassin's Creed games had always had, like, a sort of pocket dimension, like, even the first game, where it's like you go into, like, a kind of whitish background and have, like, a little bit of a one-on-one chat, like, right before someone actually dies when you strike the killing blow on them. Stomp. And it just kind of looked like an Animus-like background thing, but there was never really an explanation for it. And it's like, wait, if it's an Animus-like thing, then are we seeing as we're in the simulation? How would this have happened realistically? Did they actually chat and the guards did nothing? So I guess in the more recent games, they tried to, like, tie it into, like, the lore and the beliefs of, like, the people in question, like the assassins. So because we're a Viking here, whoa, and because we believe in the god Odin and all that, our little pocket dimension is us being, like, a servant of Odin, and the Perry killed him. And, like, serving justice, and there's usually Odin at our side. Like, he wasn't that time. I didn't see him there, I don't think. But during a lot of them, he's there with you. And then you and Odin, as, like, the BFFs, are just, like, passing judgment on the person and all that. So, I guess they tried to make it a little bit more ingrained in each character's belief system with the little pocket dimension things now. But there's always been, like, a sort of pocket dimension anyway. But yeah, I don't think they would win a lawsuit regarding patents, but yes, it does still disincentivize someone to do it. Yeah, not wanting to get sued. And again, like, Palworld has changed its game in some ways in response. Like, I haven't played Palworld in a long time, but people have told me that you no longer, like, throw the Pal Sphere to let the Pal out, but rather just let them out beside you, because that was something that was, like, patented there, and they were like, alright, I guess we're changing our game now. But I have heard that a lot of the patent suits from Nintendo against Palworld have been dropped, because the court is like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, no, we're not letting this go through. So it sounds like they are in a little bit of trouble, but still, it does put, like, a big financial burden on Pocket Pair as well. Hell yeah, brother. But yeah, I killed a man and immediately hallucinate them, that's right. I think they start doing this in Syndicate. One funny part of that is in Syndicate where Jacob, after killing an actor, he got kissed in the pocket dimension and he just stands there processing his sexuality. I don't remember this. Like, I'm sure it happened in my playthrough, but I actually don't remember it. Like, what?
You run hard. Praise be to God.
It will
Cutscene
take
time.
more than a few lads with newly polished bows to fell me.
The arrow was a boy.
A man with a boy's brain called Avgus.
Avgus? That can't be right.
I could return with his head on a spear, if you would like to see.
No. You've no reason to lie. Yet Avgos, my old friend, had no cause to murder. He saw London as a kiln of rage, to harden the softness of its younger men. Perhaps I ignored in him what I hoped not to see. Ambition, greed, anger.
From one man, such hatred is easy to spot, but from many, it is a fog that fills the room.
Power. Men will claw for it and cling to it at the cost of everything.
Very true. And it is cold comfort, when glory has the taste of your family's blood. 2 targets down. Only the compass remains. If it were my men killed, I would be on.
If there's only one more, maybe I would finish it tonight.
And we must be ready, expecting the worst.
I do not want anyone catching me off guard. Could we take the fight to him?
There may be a way. Let's regroup in the church when you've had time to rest, Broga.
Do I keep on playing? It's 3:30 in the morning, man. Bunch of whispering here. One more, he says. Smashing the compass. Because usually these stories come in 4 parts. And if this is part 3, I guess you could argue it was 4 parts because part 2 was 2 different missions. I'm going to Google. That said it was part of the City of War. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. City at War. City at War. IGN guide. Let's see. Smashing the compass, reporting on London. So there is one more mission after this, but I think that's literally just going and reporting back home. Let me see. Reporting on London. Yeah, we go back home and we report, and that's the entire mission. So this is actually the last one, because this was technically a 4-part thingamabob, when part 2 was just 2 separate missions that you could do in whatever order. Because I was about, if it was like 2 more full missions, I would have wrapped up the stream. If it's 1 more, I guess I'll do it. It's 3:30 in the morning. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours now, 3 hours, 55 minutes. And with that kind of runtime, this is more than enough time to have finished up, like, a full another story quest line by now. It's just that this is the quest line that I didn't realize was gonna be, like, so long and painful, because it's the tailing mission and investigation mission one, where I run around trying to find the objective and not being able to find them for so long, and so it takes way too long because of that. So, you know. So under normal circumstances, this would have absolutely seen a quest line through, but in this case, it's getting faster every time. In this case, it didn't, because I didn't realize I was going into the stupid investigation mission, tailing mission nonsense this time. Hey, at least it's done with. At least it's done with. And how the hell do I get in this building?